Hi, I am here with my very good friend Ilene because this April is Autism Awareness Month. And she has an amazing story. It makes me so happy when I talk to her and she tells me about the progress with her daughter. So she just told me that there is a new term in town and it's called neurodiverse um, issues or conditions. So Ilene, welcome. Thank you so much for doing this. I know this is a topic that affects so many families nowadays. And I cannot even imagine how this year with the pandemic, with everything being so restricted, it's probably exacerbated so many of these issues that families with these children have. So can you explain to me a little bit what this new term encompasses, this neurodiverse?
Definitely. So thank you first for having me on, Leanne, because it's such a passionate thing for me to get the message out there because we floundered for years as parents. And even after we received a diagnosis, we still didn't know what to do. But this new term of now neurodiverse, because when anything first comes out, they give it a term. And then as they get more people diagnosed, they like branch off with this term and this term and this term and this degree and stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. And so what they've done now is they've just encompassed everything of ADD, ADHD, epilepsy, autism, everything is neurodiverse. So it's just a term that's encompassing all the things, all the challenges that we are having in our society with neurological challenges.
Excellent. So I know about Nicole, and I'm so excited that I'll be traveling to Arizona next weekend, and we get to meet and talk about. I know she's passionate about animals as I am. That I've known about Nicole through you and seen her on some of your videos, but that I know she's an animal lover. So I'm looking forward to finally being able to meet her and get to work with her dog.
That is, yes, we are excited too. And that's the cool thing is I think one reason why Nicole navigates to animals is because she can understand them better than humans. Because part of the neurodiverse challenges that we've faced in our personal lives is her ability to communicate with people and to connect. And you mentioned something about the pandemic in the beginning, and the challenge it's done for us. One, we've been very isolated, but two, she just can't wrap her head around people not being nice to each other.
Mm.
And because it's just not in her body, it's not in her soul, it's not, she cannot wrap her head around it. And it's very confusing for her, the way that people behave in social situations. And that makes me laugh a little bit because I remember when I grew up, and if we looked at someone in a wheelchair or somebody with a scar on their face, we were told to look the other way and kind of ignore them, right?
Yeah, I remember
No,
that.
you know what Nicole does? She goes right up and asks them, what's going on with your face? And you know what? I have never seen one person go, oh, you shouldn't ask me that. They love to tell their story.
Interaction.
Why? And it's so pure. It's non-judgmental. It's total curiosity. She has taught me so much about being honest and true and just authentic. It's just amazing because she doesn't have those barriers of social right and wrong. And so it's just, hey, why do you walk that way?
So it comes
It's
from a
been
place of,
really,
yeah, it comes from a place of wanting to understand, right? It's not a judgment. It's I want to understand
yes.
how you feel, what's going. That's so beautiful. I wish more people would understand that way. So my question was like, she was diagnosed when she was how old?
Oh, so we got the appropriate diagnosis when she was 12.
Okay.
So she was, it's kind of a journey, but we didn't know what autism, I mean, honestly, it wasn't even anything in our minds when she wasn't speaking and that she couldn't figure out how to tie her shoes or go or use a bathroom until she was way older. We just felt like we couldn't communicate with our child. And so when we started down this path, her first diagnosis was actually mentally retarded because the psychiatrist that's what he did. And also my pediatrician at the time also diagnosed me that I was malnutritioning my daughter, and actually turned me into the county, because part of Nicole's journey is she hasn't been able to gain weight and grow and develop normally or typically. And so he thought I was actually starving my child. So it's been a journey of ups and downs. And then finally, the gap between her and her peers was so large that that's when the autism diagnosis finally came, about 11, which was a blessing, because I'll tell you this, people don't want labels, but it doesn't define you, but it helps people put you into a system to where they can help you. So once she got that label, Liliane, doors opened up of understanding for us of how to communicate with her, of how to work with her, of how her school teachers needed to work with her. It opened up a world of solutions, really, and options of how to help her be her best self.
So I know Ilene because we've been friends for a couple of years, and I'm so blessed that we met.
Amen.
I know, and I know you're a teacher at heart and you're a researcher at heart, and I know you have left no stone unturned to try to help Nicole with so many different things. And I know there's a very, very famous doctor, Dr. Amen, I think it's his name, that
Yes.
does the brain scans and all that. So, like really high profile doctors, and all the help that you tried to get when you called. But the what helped her the most came from a place where you least expected it, right? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so you are totally correct. I didn't know, I just wanted Nicole to live her best life and to be able to be safe and navigate life as an adult. And that was my goal. And so I did search out. We traveled to multiple states. I did find Dr. Amen, and that information that he gave me altered the way that I mothered Nicole. And I was much better at that. And I will be showing that tomorrow night, actually, on a Zoom call that we're going to be doing. But my doctor, my natural doctor, so I have done herbs with her her entire life. Luckily, her grandma taught her how to swallow a pill, which I'm so grateful, because she would swallow pills for an hour in the morning and an hour at night. And that was just to get incremental improvement. And I was willing to do that. And the cost, I won't even tell you what the cost is, but it was worth it, because anything I could do to help my daughter navigate that life better. And school was a challenge, because she would go to school and she knew everything that was going on around her. One of the things that, I don't know if you're aware of this, but these kids, they're so smart and they take in everything around them. They just have no filters. And so for her to process information or interpret information to get it back out was very challenging. The other part is facts. So I'm laughing because a thing came to my mind when I said that. I remember when she was like 4 years old, and I would tell her, she was helping clean up the kitchen, and I was really frustrated for some reason. I don't remember why. And I said, just put the cup down. And she looks around. Now, where would you put a cup if someone told you to put a cup down, Liliane?
On the kitchen counter.
Okay. Yeah, you just assume that, right? No, she literally dropped. I said, I was so frustrated. I said, just drop the cup. And she literally dropped it on the floor. You know, we had to learn how to communicate with I had to learn how to communicate, because I had to say, put the cup on the counter.
So I wanted to interrupt you for a second, because this was first and foremost in my mind when we were talking about this, because I don't have an autistic child in my life, or close family, but I cannot even help. I mean, I've had my grandson around, I've raised my kids, and that's a challenge in itself. But I cannot, it's the little things, like walk me through a day, like getting your kid to school, all of that, how it affects the whole family dynamic. And if you have other kids also as well, right?
Right. And they get ignored. I'm just telling you. Yeah. They raise themselves a lot. For us, Nicole is on a different part of the spectrum where she's very lethargic and she needs to be reminded a lot. And she goes into fear and she recluses. Other children, they're more expressive with tantrums and throwing things and things like that, where Nicole wasn't that way. So for me, I needed a cattle prod, actually. And it was, did you do this? Did you do this? Constant reminders. I've done all the little things of sticky notepads, of check off charts. None of it makes any difference, because one thing that I've experienced in our lives is there's no consequences. You tell her she's grounded from the iPad, she's like, okay.
Oh,
You tell her you're going to go to the zoo, just go upstairs and get dressed. We're going to go to the zoo. It's something she wants to do. She goes upstairs, she gets distracted, and you go up there 30 minutes later and she's not even dressed and she's listening to music, singing and dancing. And it's something she wanted. Consequences aren't something that we really had in our lives. So getting her ready for school was a lot of prodding, getting her up early, just push, push, push. And then I would drive her to school, and with the neighbors, because we had a lot of neighbors her age, and I'd watch all the other kids walk in front of her. And as a mom, my heart broke, And what I realized is Nicole, it didn't matter to her. I wanted her to be integrated, but to Nicole, it didn't matter. So I saw myself creating a lot of pain for me because I was pushing my standards onto her life. And I had to learn to see Nicole for Nicole. And that's been huge for me to
so beautiful.
Have that, is to honor her where she is. Social things don't matter to her, and she's perfectly happy. So why not let her be happy? Why force her to play with somebody? Because we would have friends come over and they would self-play in two different areas. They were both happy, So getting to school, then homework was a beast. And I finally had to learn how to draw a line with school and say, you know what? Grades do not matter. She is learning because she's sitting there, and I know she soaks in everything around her. And I know one day it'll come out. And that's what's happened actually with what we've done with Dr. Brimhall, that's shared these products with us. And then she would come home from school, and I would homework was a challenge. And because if she had a worksheet that was 1 + 2, 2 + 3, 5 + 4, and then at the bottom of the worksheet, it had 4 + 5, 1 + 2, she didn't retain the information from below to the top and was counting on her fingers, and it's super frustrating. And I learned to draw lines and do what's best for my daughter and let go of social standards of grades and things like that really don't matter. What matters is my daughter has a high self-esteem, she is being educated, and that she is living her best life.
Oh my God, so many words of wisdom. So now you know why I wanted to Ilene to speak for this very special month. So we got a little sidetracked. So
yes,
your
sorry.
chiropractor introduced you to something called nutrigenomics, and that is Ilene's passion, my passion. And tonight we have a very special call where we have a lot of people with neurodiversity issues that will be telling their stories about how nutrigenomics has changed their life. So I would like for you to give us a little window into what has changed for you guys as a family, and also for Nicole, and hopefully get people excited that changes can happen, that our brains are malleable, and that don't accept no for an answer. Like, you can get better. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So by the way, tonight is Tuesday, the 6th of April, just FYI. Plus we're doing Wednesday, the 7th of April, we're doing a full Zoom call where I will be sharing my Dr. Amen information. But so what has happened? She was 17 years old in high school, and we started on this brain drink on a Friday, and Monday she was in regular ed classrooms because, like I said, she's incredibly smart. She couldn't take notes. She couldn't navigate the high school realm. And Monday, her teacher emails me and says, Nicole asked 4 questions on topic and interacted with the classroom. And I was like, once in a while we have a blue moon day where she's connected with planet Earth. Tuesday, she emails me. Wednesday, she emails me, and I'm like, really? I've done thousands of dollars of supplements over this child's lifetime. I've never had results like this. And what has happened, Liliane, is insane because I didn't know it was possible. Her fears have decreased. Her anxiety has decreased. She's self-advocating. She is talking not monotone, but with voice inflections. Wow. And loud and soft. She's singing on pitch. She laughs spontaneously. She actually pulled an April Fool's Day joke for the first time ever in 2015. I was so shocked. Anyway, that's a whole nother story, but I've just watched my daughter blossom and become who she truly is. And she still has that heart and that authenticity and that unconditional love for people. And that's the joy of it, is she's unlocked and she can communicate now, and she doesn't stutter anymore, and she can flow with life.
Oh my goodness, that is so beautiful. So she's how old now?
She's 23.
23. Oh, yeah. Wow. So it fills my heart to know, how good this is why we're so passionate about sharing this information for people that are open, that are ready to listen, that are ready for change. Just know change is possible. Our bodies are amazing, and our body's ability to heal is greater than we have allowed to believe. Don't stay stuck with that label. It's like what Ilene said, is like the label was important to help you understand, and like all these little changes that she's done that have been so helpful. But the label is not the dead end. Is right. You can work from there. So again, so that we don't drive everybody crazy with and me, the expert in getting all the time zones all screwed up. So tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, it's a Zoom. It's just 20 minutes. Just come and hear amazing stories about people and children in the, we call it? Neuro-diverse spectrum. And then for all of this month, which is Autism Awareness Month, every Wednesday at 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, we're going to have different experts. Again, these are short, 15, 20 minutes, and you can ask questions. So please email the person who shared this information with you so that you can, join us and just listen because maybe this can touch someone's life like it has touched for Ilene's family. So Ilene, I want to thank you so much again. This story never gets old. I love to hear it, and I will we'll stay in touch, and just DM us if you want the link to listen in. Thank you.
Thank you. All right.